Hello everyone, Sue here. Welcome back to Deck 1. I hope you had a good start into 2021. Today we are going to talk about a rather serious topic, music copyright. Actually, it is quite simple. Before we begin, I just want to make sure you guys know I'm not a music copyright lawyer. So if you do need legal advice, make sure you spend the money. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to this channel because that is going to give us the chance to make many more videos for you. I have mentioned the topic of music copyrights in a video before this one. That was the video on music distribution. So if you want to know the basics of music distribution, what kind of royalties you get from music distribution, and the basics in copyright from that, make sure you click the link up here. I'm gonna link the video for you guys. I suggest we are gonna start diving a bit deeper into the music copyright world right now. The first very important thing to mention is that there are two different kinds of music copyright. There is the copyright for the master or the recording, which basically just means you have the rights for a specific recording of a song. That can be your own song or a cover version, for example. So it's just the mere recording of that very song. On the other hand, there are the copyrights for the composition. So if you are the songwriter for a song, you will have the rights for the composition and or the lyrics, if there are lyrics in the song, obviously. So these are two different kinds of music copyright that you have to make sure you know the difference between the two of them. A lot of artists wonder, when am I the official copyright holder of a certain song? There are actually just two factors that are very important here. First of all, it has to be an original piece of art. Music in this case, obviously. It has to be all yours. It has to be creative. It has to be more than just one note. You can't just copyright a singular note, obviously. The second thing, it has to be fixed in a tangible format. So that means it has to be either recorded or it has to be written down as sheet music. And then congratulations, you are the official rights holder of your song. The important thing to note here is that you own the song at the very first moment you wrote the song and you fixed it in that tangible format. There's nothing else you need to do at this point. You are the copyright holder of that song. But also important to note here is that an idea itself is nothing you can copyright. You can only copyright the expression of a song. So just because you had the idea of writing a song about a beach, a sunset, a heartbreak, and a relationship that ended or something like that, it doesn't mean that this is nothing you can copyright. There's probably a million other people who had the same idea. I'm very sorry to break it to you, but there's probably other people who had that very idea of writing a song. You can only copyright it if it is a melody fixed in a recording or in sheet music. According to the 1976 Copyright Act, copyright lasts the lifetime of a songwriter plus 70 years, which makes it an inheritable product and song and copyright. In Europe, no further action is needed, but in the United States, you actually have the chance and opportunity to also register your song officially with the US Copyright Office. And there is especially one situation when that makes a lot of sense, and that is when somebody infringes your copyright, which basically means that somebody takes your song or a part of your song and releases it as their own. In that case, you will have way more leverage in front of a court, and this federal registration also entitles you for financial compensation from the opposing party and to also get back your legal fees. If you have not registered your song with the US Copyright Office when somebody actually infringes your copyright, then you still have the chance to sue them for profits and damages, but you're not going to receive your legal fees back. As I have mentioned before, copyright law, the basics of copyright aren't that complicated, but when it gets to copyright lawsuits and copyright infringements and stuff like that, it's very complex, and then it's not just about hearing a similar melody or anything like that. And one of the most recent examples of that will probably be Katy Perry with her song Dark Horse. She lost a copyright lawsuit against a hip-hop artist called Flame. He He has a song that is titled Joyful Noise, and there's a sample in the background of that song that sounds kind of familiar to the sample that Katy Perry uses in her song For a Dark Horse, but at the same time, I don't know, it's just kind of like a random sample in the background. Anyway, copyright infringement is a very delicate case, and you will definitely need a lawyer when it comes to a situation like that. There is a myth that has made the rounds in the music industry with independent artists especially. It's the poor man's copyright, that's what it's called. It is the belief that when you mail a physical copy of your recording, of your song or your album to yourself, and you will actually keep it sealed until the day that there might be a copyright lawsuit, you will have any evidence that that specific track is yours. That is a myth. It's not true. This type of evidence does not add any value to a copyright law case. What are the exclusive rights of a copyright holder? There are 6. Let's take a look. First, you can make as many copies of your song as you wish. Second, you can sell your track to as many people in the world as you like. Third, you can perform your track publicly. Fourth, you have the exclusive right for digital audio transmission, which basically just means you can sell your music for licensing to be used in a movie or in a commercial, for example. Fifth, you have the exclusive right to create derivative works, which basically just also means you can turn one of your songs into a movie or an album you have into a musical, for example. Sixth, you have the exclusive right for public display, which means you can, for example, use one of the lines in one of your lyrics to be printed onto a t-shirt. If somebody else would want to do that and sell it on Etsy, for example, they would actually have to ask you for permission because it's all yours. Some of the things music copyright does not cover are, for example, the title of a record or a song, and on the other hand, the vibe, the feel, or the style of a piece of music. So just because you, for example, created a unique new style of music, kind of like a new genre, doesn't mean that that is something other people cannot do. It is not something you can copyright, unfortunately. So these are the basics of what music copyright covers, and it also doesn't cover, obviously. There are different kind of royalties you get depending on what kind of copyright holder you are. As I've mentioned before, there are 2 different copyrights when it comes to music. First of all, there are the master rights, or the rights for the recording. On the other hand, there are the composition rights, the rights we have been talking about the last few minutes, and there are different kind of royalties you are entitled to depending on which copyright holder you are. I'm sure there are many more questions on music rights and also especially royalties and master rights versus composition rights. We're going to cover royalties in a follow-up video to this one here for sure. If you guys have any other questions on music copyright, let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to help you out and answer your questions, and I'm going to see you next time we upload a video, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. You want to turn it off?